Hello, good evening. To Sujad there. Yeah. Musaddiq bhai, good evening. Assalamu alaikum. Hi Mahendra sir. Hi Dr. Anchal Singh. So here we are. Assalamu alaikum, Dr.
Hello.
Saab. And a very good evening,
Assalamu
sir.
alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Good evening. How are you?
I'm fine. I hope you are doing well.
Yeah, with the grace of Almighty God, doing well,
Okay.
fighting COVID.
Thank you so much for accepting the invitation and ready to answer our questions and queries, which many of us we have. So I hope that this session will be very good for everyone who is trying to understand antenatal care and postnatal care, and also regarding the infertility questions. So we have some of the questions. So before that, let me start with the introduction of Dr. Sajjad Wani. Dr. Sajjad Wani has done his MBBS at DGO, then he has done DNB, and also he has a fellowship in reproductive medicine and IVF, infertility, and high risk pregnancy. He's a specialist. So I welcome you on my Dr. Sajjad, and I hope that yeah. And guys, please excuse me because the network in Kashmir is still 2G. So if it breaks down, so please pardon me for that, because they are still battling 2G with Corona. Jammu Kashmir residents, right, Dr. Saab?
Yeah, true. Absolutely correct.
So how is everything there? Everything is fine in Kashmir right now?
Hello.
Yeah, Dr.
The
Saab,
voice
can you
is
hear me?
breaking. Hello.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. So I was asking that how is everything there, Kashmir? Everything is fine. You're doing well there.
Everything is fine. We are fighting as with the rest of the world. We are fighting COVID-19, and it is now resurging. Previously, there was a relief, but after unlocking the society, it is resurging, and we are having more number of cases, and we are now witnessing mortalities as well.
That's really. And also, I heard that they have opened parks in Jammu Kashmir recently.
Hi, yes, they are opening parks, and people are also taking it very lightly. They're not taking the precautions as were advised by the advisory committee. They are not wearing masks as were advised. They are not maintaining the social distances as usual in this part of third world. We are suffering because of our careless attitude.
Okay. I hope that everything gets. Excuse me, guys. I think again his net is broken. He'll be again back. Let me add him one more time. Sajjad.
Now I'm again live.
Yeah, it broke down. Okay.
Please bear with us because of 2G connection.
Yeah, okay. Dr. Without wasting time, I think let's start some questions. Then participants can ask us. फिर आप पूछ सकते हैं participants if you want to ask any questions. So the first question is Dr. Saab that how pregnancy is different. That is, what is the difference between physiological and pathological pregnancy, sir?
It's a very important question, and in the recent past इसके related बहुत सारे burning debates हो गए कश्मीर में कि pregnancy is a normal physiological process. The specialty by name is gynecology and obstetrics. Gynecology is a specialty which is dealing with everything related to a non-pregnant female, and obstetrics is particularly for a pregnant female. As this specialty has been divided into non-pregnant and pregnant female, so this obstetrics means pregnant female need special attention. एक non-pregnant again, sorry for it. A pregnant female means 2 lives. A non-pregnant female is a single life. So both are entirely different. Both cannot be compared with each other. For example, certain parameters which are normal in a non-pregnant female, same parameters cannot be normal in a pregnant female. For example, in a pregnant female, cardiac output increases by 25 to 40% in a singleton pregnancy. अगर एक pregnant lady के twins है तो उसका cardiac output increase by 50 to 60% around. A non-pregnant female के लिए creatinine level of 1.0 is normal, but एक pregnant female के लिए creatinine level anything more than 0.9 is abnormal. ऐसे ही glomerular filtration rate बढ़ जाती है प्रेगनेंसी में, whereas non-pregnant female में उससे कम होती है. TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone.
Sorry, it is breaking down. No problem. I'm very sorry that connection का break हो रहा है वहाँ से. Let me again add him. Yeah. Dr. Sajjad, yeah, I'm adding you again once again. Sorry for the inconvenience. Okay.
Once again,
जी जी कोई बात नहीं.
No. ये थायराइड स्टिमुलेटिंग हार्मोन की बात कर रहे थे. एक नॉन प्रेग्नेंट फीमेल में अप टू 4.5 तक नॉर्मल लेते हैं हम, बट प्रेगनेंसी में फर्स्ट ट्राइमेस्टर में इट शुड बी लेस देन 2.5, सेकंड एंड थर्ड ट्राइमेस्टर इट शुड बी लेस देन 3. Similarly, pregnancy is a hypercoagulable state. That means coagulation process different hai as compared to non-pregnant. So you cannot say that pregnancy is a normal physiological process. Yes, it is. It's not pathological. Yes, it happens pathological. अगर blood pressure बढ़ जाता है, diabetes आ जाता है, बाकी चीजें आ जाती है, मगर आप एक pregnant female और non-pregnant female को compare नहीं कर सकते हैं. They need special attention because उसके अंदर बेबी भी है. जो प्रेग्नेंट फीमेल खाती है उसका डायरेक्टली असर पड़ जाता है बेबी पे, जिसको हम टेरेटोजेनिसिटी बोलते हैं. कोई ऐसी दवाई खाई जिससे बेबी को प्रॉब्लम हो सकती है. ठीक. सो बोथ कैन नॉट बी कंपेयर्ड. बोथ नीड, प्रेग्नेंट फीमेल नीड स्पेशल अटेंशन.
Okay. Thank you, sir, for answering. Okay, sir. Second question is, what is the difference between normal pregnancy and high risk pregnancy?
Very important question. Every pregnancy cannot be low risk. Low risk तो हम नहीं बोलते हैं, नॉर्मल प्रेगनेंसी. पहले हम हाई रिस्क प्रेगनेंसी देखते हैं. व्हाट इज हाई रिस्क प्रेगनेंसी? Any pregnancy which places both either the mother or the baby or both at increased risk of mortality or morbidity is known as high risk pregnancy. In short, जो जिस भी प्रेगनेंसी में मैटरनल या फीटल कॉम्प्लिकेशंस के चांसेस बढ़ जाते हैं उसको हम हाई रिस्क प्रेगनेंसी बोलते हैं. फॉर एग्जांपल, ब्लड प्रेशर इन प्रेगनेंसी बढ़ गया तो हाई रिस्क है. प्रेगनेंसी में शुगर हो गया तो हाई रिस्क है. कोई भी प्रेगनेंसी जो इनफर्टिलिटी ट्रीटमेंट के बाद कंसीव करती है, कोई भी प्रेगनेंसी, दैट इज अ हाई रिस्क प्रेगनेंसी. कोई भी प्रेगनेंसी जो लॉन्ग ड्यूरेशन इनफर्टिलिटी के बाद चाहे स्पॉन्टेनियसली कंसीव करे, चाहे वो आफ्टर मेडिकेशन या चाहे असिस्टेड रिप्रोडक्शन टेक्निक्स के बाद कंसीव करे, दैट इज हाई रिस्क प्रेगनेंसी. फॉर एग्जांपल, प्रेगनेंसी इन पीसीओडी फीमेल, इट्स अ हाई रिस्क प्रेगनेंसी. Pregnancy in heart disease patient, high risk pregnancy, they are another category of pregnancy.
Sorry, again it broke down. Actually, it's a very important topic, but क्या करें, नेटवर्क थोड़ा सा इनका weak है. I'm sorry that it's getting break down. Just please bear with me, bear with us. Dr. Sajjad, can you please send me one more time request? Just a second. Yeah, it's coming back. I'm sorry.
Yes.
It's okay, sir. Yeah, you were talking about the.
We're talking about high risk pregnancy. Yeah. एनी प्रेगनेंसी जहां पे एक मदर और बेबी बोथ हाई रिस्क में है, उनके कॉम्प्लिकेशन के चांसेस ज्यादा है, उसको हम हाई रिस्क प्रेगनेंसी बोलते हैं. उनके लिए अलग सी फेलोशिप होती है ओबस्टेटिक्स में, नोन एज फेलोशिप इन हाई रिस्क प्रेगनेंसी. देयर आर अनदर कैटेगरी ऑफ प्रेगनेंसी जो दे नीड स्पेशल अटेंशन. उनके लिए वार्ड ही अलग बनते हैं एक हॉस्पिटल में. एक टेरिशरी केयर सेंटर में हाई रिस्क प्रेगनेंसी वार्ड ही अलग होता है.
Okay, that is regarding high risk. And what is the role of stress or food or any the those psychosocial factors, are they affecting the high risk pregnancy?
आपकी आवाज कट करके आ रही है. हेलो.
Okay, okay. Is it audible now?
ब्रेकिंग में. Can you
Audible is?
repeat the question please?
Yeah, I was asking
Yeah,
that
yeah.
what is the role of psychosomatic factors in high risk pregnancy? Can they affect the how they affect the high risk pregnancies? अगर stress है
नहीं,
female,
फिर से
she's stressed out.
नहीं, आवाज नहीं आ रही. हेलो.
Yeah,
हेलो.
can you hear me
हाँ,
now?
ब्रेकिंग करके फिर से आ रही है. हेलो.
Okay, hello. Can you hear me?
या आई कैन हियर यू नाउ.
Yeah, okay. मैं आपसे पूछ रहा था कि what is the role of stress or any other factors, social factors affecting the high risk pregnancies?
See, stress अगर stress can increase the blood pressure in the patient. और blood pressure बढ़ गया तो automatic.
Sorry, very difficult for 2G के लिए बहुत difficult है ये. It's okay, sir.
I am extremely sorry. My connection is breaking time and time again. It's because of poor connectivity here. Huh?
Yeah.
So we were talking about stress. Stress is definitely an important factor that can increase the blood pressure levels in the female. And once the blood pressure levels increase, they can initiate a cascade of events. Blood pressure का kidneys पे भी असर हो सकता है, proteinuria हो सकता है, बाकी चीजें हो सकती है. Again वो high risk pregnancy में ही fall कर जाता है.
Okay, fine. Okay, and what is the antenatal checkup of normal pregnancy and COVID era? इसमें क्या difference है अगर normal जो checkups होते हैं antenatal में और COVID में?
हाँ. एंटीनेटल प्रेगनेंसी, एक नॉर्मल प्रेगनेंसी के लिए आपके जो भी ओबस्टेटिशियन है, दे विल गाइड द पेशेंट. इट विल बी इंडिविजुअलाइज्ड. हर एक पेशेंट के लिए डिफरेंट एंटीनेटल चेकअप्स होंगे. ठीक है. ऑन एन एवरेज हम बोलते हैं, ऑन एन एवरेज अप टू मंथली फॉर अप टू 30-32 वीक्स मंथली कर लो. उसके बाद फर्स्ट और सेकंड ट्राइमेस्टर में मंथली कर लो. 32 वीक्स के बाद आप कर लो ट्वाइस.
I think again
still
can't hear you, Dr. Sajjad. Just give me a moment. Yeah, okay. I'm adding you back.
hello.
Please have patience with us, sir.
Acha, I will come to COVID-19 directly because the connection is breaking time and again. COVID-19 में as per WHO guidelines, at least a minimum of more than equal to 6 antenatal visits in 9 months. How many? Minimum
6.
of more than equal to 6. If any patient does less than 6 antenatal visits, it increase the chances of perinatal mortality. यानी आपके बेबी एक खतरे वाले डेंजर वाले कंडीशन में आ जाते हैं. आपके कम से कम 6 या उससे ज्यादा होने चाहिए एंटीनेटल चेकअप्स. एंड again, every case will be individualized by your concerned doctor. The best is you take your doctor's cell number, contact number, and WhatsApp. Be in touch with your doctor and minimize your number of visits. A minimum of 6 to 10 visits in 9 months. And उसके बाद every case will be individualized. जब भी आपको डॉक्टर साहब बुलाएंगे आपको आना पड़ेगा. और कम से कम आप डॉक्टर साहब के कांटेक्ट नंबर में कांटेक्ट में रहिए. उनको व्हाट्सएप पे भी आप मैसेज कर सकते हैं. आई थिंक वैली में हर एक डॉक्टर ने अपने व्हाट्सएप नंबर फेसबुक पे या व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप्स में दिया हुआ है. आप अपने डॉक्टर को अप्रोप्रिएट टाइम पे व्हाट्सएप पे कोई भी प्रॉब्लम आती है व्हाट्सएप पे कन्वे कर सकते हैं वो.
Okay.
But the number of visits should be at least more than 6 in 9 months. इसमें जो आ जाता हमारा important है anti scan. Anti scan is to be done around 11 to 13 weeks. और फिर आ जाता हमारा dual test. ये आप दोनों एक साथ कर सकते हो. That is 10 to 12 weeks. So 12 weeks के around आप कर सकते हो anti scan भी और dual test भी. और third investigation जो important है, you can time this. Triple test or quadruple test, it can be done anytime between 15 to 20 weeks. तो अराउंड 15 टू 20 वीक्स में आप ट्रिपल और क्वाड्रुपल टेस्ट कर सकते हैं. और जेनेटिक सोनोग्राम, ये लेवल 2 अल्ट्रासाउंड, ये एनएमएल स्कैन, वो आप 18 टू 20 वीक्स में कभी भी कर सकते हो. तो आप दोनों को एक साथ कर सकते हो, चाहे ट्रिपल टेस्ट, क्वाड्रुपल टेस्ट प्लस जेनेटिक सोनोग्राम या एनिमल स्कैन, आप अराउंड 18 वीक्स के आसपास में दोनों कर सकते हो, सो एज टू मिनिमाइज द नंबर ऑफ विजिट्स। तो यहाँ पे आ गया आपको पहले कंफर्मेशन ऑफ प्रेगनेंसी, इंट्रायूट्राइन है कि एक्स्ट्रायूट्राइन है, वो आ गया अराउंड 6 to 8 वीक्स में आपका। तो अराउंड 12 वीक्स पे अराउंड आपने एंटी स्कैन किया और ड्यूअल टेस्ट किया, सेकंड विजिट आ गई। ट्रिपल टेस्ट, क्वाड्रुपल टेस्ट एंड जेनेटिक सोनोग्राम आपने 15 to 20 वीक्स के 18 to 20 वीक्स के अराउंड किया, तो थर्ड विजिट आ गई। उसके बाद आप 24 to 28 वीक्स में जीटीटी कर लेंगे मिनिमम, जो मैं बोल रहा हूँ, ग्लूकोज टॉलरेंस टेस्ट मिनिमम, और 28 वीक्स के अराउंड ग्रोथ स्कैन कर लीजिए आप। फोर्थ विजिट आ गई, 30 to 32 वीक्स में और एक स्कैन कर लीजिए आप और अपने डॉक्टर साहब को दिखाएं। इसको आप लेवल 3 भी बोल सकते हैं, उसको आप डॉपलर स्टडी भी बोल सकते हो। हाई रिस्क प्रेगनेंसी यहाँ पे आती है तो यहीं पे आप बीटा मैथोसोन डोज भी दे सकते हो 30 to 32 वीक्स के अराउंड। फिफ्थ विजिट आ गई, उसके बाद आप अराउंड एवरी 10 डेज के बाद एक विजिट कर लीजिए, या 34-35 वीक्स के बाद वीकली विजिट कर लीजिए, या अगर आप डॉक्टर के टच में हैं तो व्हाट्सएप पे उसको कर दीजिए, आप इन्वेस्टिगेशन कर दीजिए, हॉस्पिटल जाने की जरूरत नहीं है, इन्वेस्टिगेशन उसको व्हाट्सएप कर लीजिए या उसके ईमेल में डाल दीजिए आप, एंड दे विल गाइड यू व्हाट टू डू।
Okay, sir. And Dr. Saab, if there is, अगर ये sir, hello, can you hear me?
हाँ जान, yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. अगर एक if there is a patient, अगर एक mother को she has got infected with COVID-19 and she is pregnant, so what is the precautions she has to take, or will it affect his baby or her baby or anything?
Yes. Very important question from current perspective. COVID-19 मदर अगर आती है तो अगेन वो बन गई हाई रिस्क ग्रुप में। हेलो, यस, कोविड-19 पॉजिटिव प्रेग्नेंट वुमेन हाई रिस्क ग्रुप में आता है। सिंस कोविड-19 इज अ नोवल वायरस, नोवल मतलब न्यू, इट इज स्टिल अंडर इन्वेस्टिगेशन, वी डोंट नो मच अबाउट द वायरस। रेगुलर बेसिस पे गाइडलाइंस चेंज हो रही है। पहले बोलते थे फोमाइट ट्रांसमिशन हो सकता है, ड्रॉपलेट ट्रांसमिशन है, आज बोल रहे हैं एक्सपर्ट्स की इट इज एन एयरबॉर्न ट्रांसमिशन, एयरबॉर्न डिजीज है। सो since it's a new virus, not much is known about the transmission and other things. We also don't know whether COVID-19, there are two schools of thought. एक स्कूल बोलता है कि COVID-19 does not place a mother at increased risk. The second school of thought says that COVID-19 does place a woman at increased risk. अब ये मान के चलिए कोविड-19 सिंस या अपना सही रूप, असली रूप दिखाना स्टार्ट कर रहा है, तो आप अपने आप को मान लीजिए आपको ये हाई रिस्क में ही आ रहे हो और यू आर एट अ हाई रिस्क। द फर्स्ट थिंग इज that patient, whether symptomatic or asymptomatic, should be hospitalized, should be isolated from the family because she can be a source of infection to others. क्वारंटाइन सेंटर में जाइए, हॉस्पिटल में जाइए। सेकंड, रूटीन चेकअप्स करनी है। जो भी ट्रीटमेंट हम एक नॉन प्रेग्नेंट कोविड पेशेंट को दे रहे हैं, इसको भी ये दे रहे हैं। जैसे सिम्टोमेटिक हो जाए आप ट्रीटमेंट स्टार्ट कर लीजिए। ट्रीटमेंट तो अभी इसका क्योर है नहीं कुछ, आप वही जो आपका एंटीवायरल आ रहा है जो अभी मार्केट में आने वाला है, रेडमेसिविर। तीसरा, ऑक्सीजन, अगर इसकी सैचुरेशन लेवल्स ड्रॉप होती है तो आप ऑक्सीजन स्टार्ट कर लीजिए इनको। ज्यादा ही कंडीशन वर्सन हो रही है तो फिर वेंटिलेटर पे जाने के भी चांसेस है। तो आई थिंक आवर मैटरनिटी हॉस्पिटल शुड हैव एटलीस्ट अ वार्ड वहां जहां पे कोविड-19 पेशेंट्स विद वेंटिलेटर सपोर्ट हो। रिगार्डिंग ट्रांसमिशन, वर्टिकल ट्रांसमिशन, डज अ प्रेग्नेंट वुमन ट्रांसमिट द इन्फेक्शन टू द बेबी? टिल डेट अभी ज्यादा केस नहीं आए हैं इसके। देयर आर 1 or 2 केसेस जहां पे ये बोल रहे हैं कि इट डज ट्रांसमिट द इन्फेक्शन फ्रॉम मदर टू बेबी। ओनली 1 or 2 केसेस आर देयर फ्रॉम चाइना, बट इन जनरल आरसीओजी गाइडलाइन जो है वो बोल रही है कि इट डज नॉट ट्रांसमिट द मदर इन्फेक्शन फ्रॉम मदर टू बेबी। एंड नाउ रिगार्डिंग ब्रेस्ट फीडिंग कैसे करोगे आप? ब्रेस्ट फीडिंग इज द बेस्ट फीडिंग फॉर द बेबी। ब्रेस्ट फीडिंग से मदर टू बेबी ट्रांसमिशन नहीं होता है ब्रेस्ट मिल्क से, बट हियर आपने बेबी को इमीडिएटली आइसोलेट करना है मदर से। अगर मदर कोविड-19 है तो आपने फिर बेबी मदर का मिल्क एक्सप्रेस करना है, उसको फिर आप स्पून फीडिंग कर दीजिए या मिल्क, वो मिल्क बोतल में डाल दीजिए मदर का, उनको पिला लीजिए आप, और इमीडिएटली या आफ्टर 1 वीक आप बेबी का भी कोविड-19 टेस्ट कर सकते हैं।
जी, actually, as I told you that I had a special case among one of my relatives. She was COVID positive, but after the baby was born, still she was
हाँ
positive. But she kept breastfeeding. So, she didn't know that COVID positive. But after some time, after 32
हाँ
days, automatically she tested negative. So doctors were amazed to see in UAE. I'm telling you, sir. This is evidence. I'm telling you because I know the
अच्छा,
case. I mean, share भी किया था आपके साथ. So
मदर
they
वाज
told that might
पॉजिटिव
be,
एंड द बेबी रिमेन नेगेटिव।
yeah, baby remained negative and baby was healthy, no problem whatsoever. So
ओके,
they told that
नो
might be this, this breast milk is helping to increase her immunity, might be some case.
डेफिनेटली ब्रेस्ट मिल्क में हमारी आईजीजी एंटीबॉडीज होती है। यस, they are the protective, that's why breast milk is the best milk. There are a number of antibodies which are secreted in the breast milk, and they increase the immunity status of the, they are immunity boosters for the baby.
Okay, thank you so much.
And
And
one more
yes,
important thing, RT-PCR is not foolproof. इसकी अपनी specificity and sensitivity है। There can be false positives as well as false negatives। जो हम कोविड टेस्ट करते हैं RT-PCR का, इसके false positive results भी आते हैं और false negative भी आते हैं।
fine. There's one more problem जो हमने देखा है in recent times, the C-sections, cesarean sections बहुत बढ़ गए हैं कश्मीर में, जो मैं बात करूंगा सर। And what is the reason? Is it a reason, कुछ different reasons है, or it is something physiological, or it is commercial and something? This is a question I wanted to ask.
Cesarean section.
Yeah,
अगर
please elaborate.
एक कॉमन, फर्स्ट आई विल स्पीक फ्रॉम ए कॉमन मैन्स पर्सपेक्टिव। उनके लिए सीजरियन सेक्शन का मतलब कि डॉक्टर साहब ने बहुत पैसे कमाने हैं तो सीजरियन सेक्शन हर एक बेबी का करना है। और अगर हम अपनी बाकी स्पेशलिटीज का भी देख लेंगे, वो भी यही बोलते हैं कि डॉक्टर साहब को बहुत पैसे कमाने हैं, इसलिए इन्होंने सीजरियन सेक्शन करने हैं। मगर अगर आप मुझे पूछेंगे तो आई विल से कि गॉड हैज ब्लेस्ड दिस मैनकाइंड विद सीजरियन सेक्शंस। अल्लाह ताला का ये हम पे रहम और करम है कि सीजरियन सेक्शन इन्वेंट हो गया और इस लेवल पे आज पहुंचा है कि इट इज कंसिडर्ड मोर सेफ देन नॉर्मल डिलीवरी। अब मैं बताऊंगा क्यों। नॉर्मली जब पहले डिलीवरीज होती थी, बहुत सारे आपने ऐसे एपिसोड्स देखे होंगे, सुने भी होंगे कि बच्चा पैदा होते ही मां गुजर जाती है,
Right.
या मां गुजर जाती थी। बच्चा पैदा होती, बच्चा बेचारा अपनी मां को कभी देख नहीं पाता था। With God has blessed us with cesarean sections, those mothers as well as babies who otherwise would have not survived are alive today because of cesarean section. मैं आपको एक एग्जांपल बता देता हूं। प्रेगनेंसी में मां का ब्लड प्रेशर बहुत बढ़ गया, इसके अभी डिलीवरी के कम से कम 20-25 दिन है, डिलीवरी के टाइम के 25 दिन है अभी, या 1 महीना है, तो डिलीवरी नहीं होने वाली है। ब्लड प्रेशर इतना बढ़ गया है कि अगर 25 दिन का हम वेट कर लेंगे तो मां गुजर जाएगी। मां गुजर गई तो मां के साथ साथ बेबी भी गुजर गया
जी।
तो अब अल्लाह ताला ने हमें सेक्शन का रोल दे दिया। 25 दिन तो दूर की बात है, आज आपको लग रहा है कि बेबी ब्लड प्रेशर की वजह से पहले तो बेबी गुजर जाएगा, फिर मां को प्रॉब्लम हो सकती है, तो आप नेक्स्ट डे उसको सीजरियन सेक्शन करके ऑपरेट करते हो। बोथ मदर एज वेल एज बेबी आर सेव्ड। दूसरी कंडीशन मैं आपको बता देता हूं। एक प्रेग्नेंट लेडी है, अराउंड 34-35 वीक्स ऑफ जेस्टेशन, 34-35 हो गए, अराउंड 8.5 मंथ और 8.1/4 ऑफ मंथ, ठीक है। तो अल्ट्रासाउंड में डॉक्टर साहब देखते हैं कि बेबी को ब्लड फ्लो ठीक से नहीं पहुंच, ब्रेन को ब्लड फ्लो ठीक से नहीं पहुंच रहा है, बेबी के वाइटल ऑर्गन्स को नहीं पहुंच रहा है, उसको बोलते हैं एबनॉर्मल फीटल डॉपलर, ठीक है। तो उस सूरत में अगर हम 2 दिन और वेट करेंगे तो बेबी गुजर जाएगा, बेबी विल डाई इन वोम, मदर्स, मां के पेट में, यूट्रस में बच्चा मर जाएगा। लेकिन इसके नॉर्मल डिलीवरी के अभी 25 दिन है, 1 महीना है, क्या करेंगे? वेट करेंगे नॉर्मल डिलीवरी का?
She will die.
Baby will die within 2 days.
Yeah.
मैं बेबी विल डाई विद इन 2 days। अगर हम 25 आप आपके पास मैक्सिमम 2 दिन है, 2 दिनों में बेबी को निकालना, बेबी बच जाएगा। अब इसकी नॉर्मल डिलीवरी का डेट 25 दिन है, अब नॉर्मल डिलीवरी का वेट करेंगे?
नो,
तो
मतलब
नॉर्मल डिलीवरी का वेट करेंगे तो आपको डेड बेबी मिल जाएगा। सिजेरियन करोगे लाइव बेबी मिलेगा और लाइव मदर मिलेगी। और पुराना जमाना नहीं है 10-12 बच्चे रखते थे, 10-12 बच्चों में से 2-4 बच्चे गुजरते थे, 5-8 बच्चे होते थे फैमिली में। आज आप शादी करते हैं एट द एज ऑफ 30-35,
राइट,
उसके
एवरी
बाद आप
प्रेगनेंसी
यू आर
प्रेशर्स।
both female as well as male, husband and wife both are career oriented। 2
यस,
बच्चे आप रखते हैं मैक्सिमम, क्यों?
नेक्स्ट,
आप कोई चांस लेंगे कि इन 2 बच्चों में मुझे कोई एबनॉर्मल बेबी चाहिए?
नेवर, कभी नहीं।
नहीं लेंगे, नहीं लेंगे आप। एवरी पेरेंट वांट्स दैट हिज द IQ of his daughter, the IQ of his child should be more than 140। आइंस्टाइन बनना चाहता है। तो here comes the role of medication। you screen the baby, आपको लग रहा है डाउन सिंड्रोम बेबी है, you go for MTP।
यस,
Likewise, cesarean is a blessing for the mankind which has bestowed, Almighty God has bestowed upon us। जो लोग ये बोलते हैं वो कॉमन सेंस इस्तेमाल करते हैं, डॉक्टर साहब ने पैसे कमा लिए। मगर उस बंदे को बोलो यार आपने सिजेरियन क्यों कराया? अगर डॉक्टर साहब ने बोला आपको रुकना था, डॉक्टर साहब ने साथ में ये भी बोला होगा कि भाई इसके बोलते हैं हम पैसेज एज वेल एज पैसेंजर। और एक एग्जांपल दे देता हूँ, मदर के इनसाइड जो वोम में यूट्रस में बेबी है, 3.5-4 किलो का बेबी है, मगर जो बर्थ कैनाल है वहां से 2.5 से 3 किलो का बेबी निकल सकता है। और एक एग्जांपल बता रहा हूँ, बेबी इनसाइड है 4-4.5 किलो का, बर्थ कैनाल की इतनी गैप है कि 2.5 से 3 किलो का ही बेबी निकल सकता है। अब क्या करेंगे आप?
yes, there
दो
is
सूरत है
absolutely,
उस कंडीशन, 2 सूरत है उस कंडीशन में। या तो आप बेबी को पार्ट्स में निकाल लो बाहर, नॉर्मल डिलीवरी कराओ पार्ट्स में निकालो, निकाल सकते हैं? नहीं निकाल सकते हैं। ब्लेसिंग
no.
अगेन, सिजेरियन इज द ब्लेसिंग, यू टेक आउट द बेबी बाय सिजेरियन, बच्चा भी बच जाता है, माँ भी बच जाती है, दोनों खुश।
एंड डॉक्टर
और
साहब,
एक
what are the,
हाँ
जो अब डॉक्टर साहब जो अभी आप देख रहे हैं करंट सिनेरियो, व्हाट इज द, आप क्या
हाँ
मतलब ड्यूरिंग योर प्रैक्टिस जो एक मदर की जो पहले जो उसमें जो ताकत थी या दे हैड द स्ट्रेंथ, do you think that there are some bodily changes also happen in the ladies that they are not able to deliver normally, or something is wrong in physiology of
नहीं नहीं, इसमें
female body?
इसमें इसमें हाँ हाँ मैं बताऊंगा। पहले नॉर्मल डिलीवरीज ही वाज ऑप्शन।
या,
पहले आपके पास 4G नहीं था, फोन नहीं था, आपके पास लैंडलाइन था, लैंडलाइन से कॉल करना था ना।
राइट,
फोन आ गया, 4G आ गया, लाइव चल रहे हैं, ये ऑप्शन है हमारे पास। पहले व्हाट वाज द ऑप्शन? नॉर्मल डिलीवरी और डेथ।
डेथ, या,
एक औरत या तो नॉर्मल डिलीवरी से डिलीवरी होती थी उसकी सक्सेसफुल, माँ भी बचती थी, बच्चा भी बचता था। अगर नॉर्मल डिलीवरी में कॉम्प्लिकेशन होती थी, व्हाट वाज द ऑप्शन फॉर अस? इधर बेबी विल डाई और मदर विल डाई और बोथ विल डाई, देयर वाज नो अदर ऑप्शन। नो हमारे पास सिजेरियन का ऑप्शन है। आप देखें विद दिस सिजेरियन वी हैव सेव्ड सो मेनी बेबीज and so many mothers that maternal mortality rate has almost halved। maternal mortality rate का मतलब हुआ कि जो प्रेग्नेंट लेडीज पहले बर्थ प्रोसेस के दौरान मरती थी वो ऑलमोस्ट हाफ हो गई है।
so do
आपको
they
आ रही समझ?
आप वहां पर
हाँ
कश्मीर में I think every doctor prefers first normal delivery. When they see complication, then only they go for CS section.
देखो, नॉर्मल डिलीवरी इज द बेस्ट डिलीवरी
जी,
प्रोवाइडेड द कैंडिडेट फिट्स दोस क्राइटेरिया।
राइट,
आज से 50 साल पहले जब नॉर्मल डिलीवरी होती थी, नो वन यूज टू चेक द फीटल हार्ट, बच्चे की दिल की धड़कन कितनी तेज चल रही है। फॉर एग्जाम्पल मैं आपको बताता हूँ, नॉर्मल डिलीवरी के दौरान एन एवरेज फीटल हार्ट रेट इन बिटवीन कंट्रैक्शंस, नॉट ड्यूरिंग कंट्रैक्शन, इन बिटवीन कंट्रैक्शन शुड बी 110 to 150 बीट्स पर मिनट। कितना?
जी,
110। नॉर्मल डिलीवरी की
100,
प्रोसेस, मदर इज इन द प्रोसेस ऑफ डिलीवरिंग नॉर्मली, और
या,
एक कंट्रैक्शन, 2 कंट्रैक्शंस के बीच में एक फीटल हार्ट रेट आज हम चेक करते हैं कि 110 to 150 इज द नॉर्मल।
यस,
पहले जमाने में ये चेक नहीं कर पाते थे, जो निकलता था हमें वो मंजूर था, ठीक है। आज हम ये चेक कर पाते हैं इन बिटवीन कंट्रैक्शंस, अगर फीटल हार्ट रेट बिलो 100 बिलो 80 हो गया तो आप नॉर्मल डिलीवरी प्रोसेस को उधर ही अबंडन करते हैं, बिकॉज आपको पता है अगर बेबी लाइव भी पैदा हो गया, इसमें ब्रेन डैमेज इतना होगा कि ये फिर ही विल बी IQ लेवल बी वेरी लो,
like CP, CP.
या सेरेब्रल पैल्सी, एग्जैक्टली सेरेब्रल पैल्सी इज एन एग्जांपल ऑफ नॉर्मल डिलीवरी में क्या होता है, ठीक।
जी जी,
सो
बस पहले
विद या एग्जैक्टली आप उसको बोलते हैं कंटिन्यूअस इलेक्ट्रॉनिक मॉनिटरिंग ऑफ द फीटल हार्ट। आप एक प्रोब लगाते हैं मदर के एब्डोमेन पे, वो मॉनिटर पे आपको बेबी की हार्ट की धड़कन सुनाई देती है और रेट भी सुनाई देती है, दिखाई देती है। 110 to 150 बीट्स के बीच में इन बिटवीन कंट्रैक्शंस, तो एवरीथिंग इज गोइंग स्मूथ। 100 के बिलो आ गया, 90 आ गया, तो अलार्म बेल्स आर रिंगिंग, सो यू इमीडिएटली शिफ्ट द बेबी टू थिएटर एंड डिलीवर बाय सिजेरियन। तो ऐसे बेबीज पहले मरते थे, नहीं पैदा होते थे नॉर्मल, अगर नॉर्मल होते भी थे तो सीपी होते थे। हमारी सोसाइटी में सेरेब्रल पैल्सी के रेट ज्यादा है, क्यों? We don't have those continuous electronic monitoring facilities available in any of our centers.
Yes, yes. Yeah, actually here we have after every hour they put that probe and they check the fetal heartbeat.
No, normally, exactly. No, that means resource poor setting. In a good resource setting, एक female है, बेड पे है, तो आप एक NST मशीन लगा देते हो प्रोब उसका, तो you continuously monitor during labor period, monitor the fetal heart. बच्चे के दिल की धड़कन ठीक जा रही।
I think connection broke. We had just a moment. I think he'll be back soon. Yeah. जी.
ठीक है. So cesarean is a blessing. It is not a curse. Babies and mothers who otherwise would not have survived are alive today because of cesarean, and we should be really thankful to anesthetists as well, and the improvement in anesthetic techniques. पहले 50% पेशेंट एनेस्थीसिया की वजह से मरते थे, तो सिजेरियन करते नहीं थे। एनेस्थीसिया वाज वेरी कॉम्प्लिकेटेड प्रीवियसली। आज आपने सिजेरियन करना है, आप सिर्फ स्पाइनल एनेस्थीसिया दे दीजिए, लोअर लिम्स उसकी बेहोश हो जाएंगी, पेशेंट इज कॉन्शियस। So cesarean has become more safer than normal delivery nowadays because of improvements in anesthesia as well as surgical techniques.
Fine. Pero sir, thank you so much for your golden words. And one more question is there. Do you think that the scientific knowledge has changed the lives of female women in general? Do you think that the scientific knowledge of this pregnancy and it has changed the lives of women in Kashmir?
Definitely. पहले एक पेशेंट आता था ओपीडी में, उस बेचारे को जो भी बोलते थे वो बोलता था हाँ जी सर मैं मान गया। आज पेशेंट गूगल सर्च करके आ जाता है।
Right.
And if a doctor is not updated, he has to cut a sorry figure in front of patients.
Yes.
अब पेशेंट्स वो चीजें पढ़ के आ जाते हैं कि डॉक्टर बोलता है यार मुझे लगता था मेरी फैटर्निटी में मुझे ही सिर्फ पता होगी ये चीजें और किसी को नहीं पता होगी, मगर ये तो पेशेंट तक को पता है। Google has made so easy accessible to knowledge.
Yes. So that is it really helps.
More important, one more important factor why cesarean births have increased. I call it cesarean births.
Cesarean births.
The average age of motherhood has increased. जो टिश्यूज में इलास्टिसिटी एट द एज ऑफ 20 होती है वो 35 में नहीं होगी। 35 को बोलते हैं हम एल्डरली प्राइमी ग्रेविडा। जो इलास्टिसिटी एंड टिश्यू रिजेनरेटिंग ये ना पावर है वो एट द एज ऑफ 35 और 20 के बीच में डिफरेंस होगा, सेम नहीं रहेगा। वन मोर इंपॉर्टेंट फैक्टर, and no one wants to take any chance. Every parent wants their baby to be healthy and alive.
Right, that's very important.
One more I think I will add. One more thing I will add. Since I am dealing with high risk pregnancy, मैं आपको एक एपिसोड बताऊंगा। ये married since 8 years. 8 साल में she is having SLE. SLE previously was known as incompatible with pregnancy. Yet type 1 diabetes mellitus was known as incompatible with pregnancy. SLE patient को at the age of 30 weeks of gestation, 30 मतलब हो गया 7.5 महीने का, 7.5 महीने की प्रेगनेंसी पहुंच गई। the condition of the mother worsened. वर्सन
Right.
इतनी होगी 31 वीक्स पे कि अगर हम और 10 दिन वेट करते तो मां नहीं बच पाती. तो we did cesarean at 31 weeks, took out the baby weight was 1.2 kg. बेबी को हमने जीबी पंत एनआईसीयू में भेज दिया. बेबी इज नाउ हेल्दी, बोथ मदर एंड बेबी आर हेल्दी.
Very nice work, sir.
So this is one more indication where cesarean has blessed the mother with the child.
Who has high risk pregnancies or high risk in yeah. Just a moment. I think again. Give me a second, guys. Network इनको थोड़ा problem है कश्मीर में. Just a moment. Dr. Sajad, can you please one more time send me request? I will add you again. It's a very important topic, I guess. You all are watching it. Yeah. Kindly bear with me. Just a moment, guys. Sorry, कुछ प्रॉब्लम हो रहा है, कनेक्ट नहीं हो पा रहे सर हमसे दोबारा. डॉक्टर सजाद, I'm trying to add you, Dr. Sajad, but अब ऐड नहीं हो पा रहे हैं. Just a moment, let me one more time try. बिस्मिल्लाह. Yeah, adding finally. जी डॉक्टर साहब, sorry, it was थोड़ा सा प्रॉब्लम हुआ आपको.
2G.
Yeah,
2G is playing its role.
Dr. Saab, I think you have answered the most important जो myths था regarding myths regarding C-section or the knowledge about, because अभी आप जो आपने सही कहा कि
Yeah, I
that
cannot.
females,
Your voice is breaking. Hello.
can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Hello.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. One more question. I think you have covered the important topics of pregnancy. Can we now move to infertility? तो सबसे पहले हम जानेंगे कि
Sure.
what is infertility and why the incidence of infertility has increased in Kashmir Valley or around. We see the normal incidence of prevalence is very much high now.
Yes, very true. Very important question and very to the mark. Infertility will define any couple. If a couple is not able to conceive within 1 year of marriage, after unprotected intercourse with a regular frequency of 2 to 3 acts per week, that couple is labeled as infertile couple. If the female age is less than 35, एक female की age अगर less than 35 है, they are not able to conceive within 1 year of unprotected intercourse with a regular frequency of 2 to 3 acts per week, that couple is labeled as infertile. Now, if the female age is more than 35,
I'm sorry guys, this is a problem with 2G. 2G चल रहा है कश्मीर में, तो थोड़ा सा वहाँ पर there is a connection is not secure as such. He'll be back any moment. Please wait. Hang with me, anyone. Dr. Sajad, can you please send me once again the request so I can add you back? Yeah, adding. Finally, he's coming back. Sorry, guys.
no.
Can you hear me? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I can hear it.
Okay.
You have to bear with the 2G. we are having.
Yes. Yeah.
We were discussing about infertility. Now, if the definition changes, if the female age is more than or equal to 35, the time duration gets reduced from 1 year to 6 months only. So we have to investigate if the female age is more than 35 or equal to 35. We have to investigate the couple only after 6 months of marriage.
Okay.
So ये है infertility की definition. What was the second part of the question? I forgot.
Yeah, the incidence has increased in recent times in Kashmir or any parts of the India or anyone. We have seen the
No.
incidence is more.
Definitely. There are so many reasons, so many factors for it. One of the important factor is previously medical sciences had not advanced to such a level where we can offer a treatment or assisted reproductive technology treatment facilities to couples who were otherwise known as impotent previously, rather sterile. They were labeled as sterile previously. Now they are fertile. Such couples are now labeled as fertile. For example, I will give an example. There was a male having obstructive azoospermia. That means testes are producing the sperm. They are forming the sperm, but it is male. There is a fault in the ejaculatory process of the male. It's not coming out. Now, in such males, we are retrieving the sperms from testes only. This male 20-30 years before was labeled as sterile. Now they are known as infertile. That means they have the potential to procreate, procreation.
Yeah.
So they have the potential to bear children, but they need assisted reproductive technology. One aspect is this. The second aspect in Kashmir particularly, so many factors are responsible. One of the important factors is late marriages. People are more career oriented. They first want that yes.
Yeah.
So people previously were not that much career oriented. Now everyone is after the jobs. They want a good package, both males and females. They want to settle down only when they have job security.
Right.
Late marriages. This is the reason for the late marriages. Again, late marriages means poor quality gametes. The egg quality of a 35-year-old female will not be same as compared to 20-year-old female. Similarly, the sperm quality of a 40-year or more than 40 years old male will not be same as compared to 25 years old male. You got it?
Yes.
So once there is late marriages, the gamete quality decreases. It becomes poor. More important, another important factor in Srinagar, Kashmir Valley is stress. You know the conditions we are living in.
Yeah. Very stressful.
We are in stress 24/7. Sometimes there will be abrogation of Article 370. Sometimes there will be COVID-19 crisis, and so many stresses we are living around.
Yeah.
Stress itself increases the chances of infertility, subfertility, as well as infertility.
Okay.
One more important factor is genetic makeup. For example, a recent research was conducted. It is not recent. It will be, I think, for
Yeah.
Hello, are you live again? Yeah. A research was conducted where South Asian females and Spanish females were compared. It was found that the egg quality of a 40 egg quality as well as quantity, egg producing capacity of a 40-year Spanish female is equivalent to the egg producing capacity of 35 years South Asian female. South Asian female. That means the egg producing capacity of a 35-year South Asian female is equivalent to the egg producing capacity of a 40-year Spanish female. So on an average, from my perspective, the average age of marriage in Kashmir is around 32-33 years, not before that. Particularly in urban sector of the Hello, are you live again?
Yeah, we are live. Sorry. Yeah. As per your comments, that age is very important factor.
Age
It
is
is
very,
very
very important.
important.
Any person who wants his offspring to be intelligent, damn intelligent, they should rear children when the female is around 20 to 25 years of age. A female has maximum fertility potential at 20 to 23 years of age. After that, it slowly decreases till 30. From 30 to 35, it rapidly decreases. From 35 to 40, it sharply decreases. And after 40, it is negligible. So a young 20 to 23, or say 25, not only has the maximum number of eggs, but they also produce the best quality eggs. And you will be well aware of the research that the intelligence comes from mother.
Just a moment, sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, Dr. Sir.
You will be very much aware that intelligence comes from the mother.
Mother, yeah.
So intelligence comes from mother means female gamete means egg. A good quality egg will give will give birth to smart, intelligent, and handsome offspring.
Okay. Is born to a mother who is 30 years old, and with God willingly he's intelligent, so it goes father. So it goes fathers, huh?
No, intelligence comes from mother. Intelligence comes from a female
mother.
egg.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
so
yeah. Dr. Sab, regarding this, yeah, we were talking about infertility. आपने सुना होगा जो the trend is that any couple who gets married, वो चाहते हैं कि पहले 1-2 साल they want to have kids, they want to just enjoy honeymoon or something like that. So इनके लिए आपकी advice क्या रहेगी? That what is the myths or the adverse effects of this? This late conceiving.
I want to salute you for this question, honestly speaking, because this had skipped my mind. I want to salute you for this question. See, after marriage, 1 or 2 years, they want to have a gap. It's applicable to females or to couples who marry.
Yes.
It's applicable. It's applicable. Couples who after marriage want to postpone their first child. It's applicable to couples who marry around 17, 18 or 19 years of age. So if they postpone it by 3 years, at 18 years, they are postponing it to 21. Still they're in the best age group where the offspring will be healthy. They'll be smart. They will be intelligent. But on an average, Kashmiri marries after 30. They cannot take any chance to postpone the first child.
Fine.
So the advertising agencies are not almost meant for Kashmiri. I have worked outside. I have seen by 25, half of the population has completed their family in outside Kashmir, I mean to say, in the rest of the states of India.
Please bear with me. Bear with us.
Hello.
Yeah, again back.
Is now it okay?
Again back.
Yeah. Please tolerate with this 2G.
Yeah.
So outside people marry young, they can take that liberty of postponing the marriage, postponing the first child. So in Kashmir, as soon as you marry, just plan your pregnancy. Don't waste even I will say even 1 month, because our average marriage age will be around 30 or 30 plus.
And Dr. Saab, one more question to add on this. Who is responsible for infertility? Is it male or female? There's any gender bias or something like that in this infertility?
Before this, I will say that what are the other causes responsible infertility in Kashmir Valley? One is late marriage, other is stress. Third are infections are very common in Kashmir. There are genital tuberculosis, a very common infection. Worldwide, in developed nations like US, Europe, genital tuberculosis is responsible for less than 5 to 10% of the infertile couples. But in a society like India, Genital tuberculosis is responsible for 15 to 20% of infertile couples. To my knowledge, as per my practice in Valley, genital tuberculosis is very common and is PID, pelvic inflammatory diseases. It's very common, and almost I can say with the authority around 25 to 30% of the couples have, both belonging to low socioeconomic status as well as to high socioeconomic status. One more important reason for a rise in infertility is lack of experts. We don't have much infertility specialists in Valley. So a patient couple used to go to evaluate them for basics. After basic evaluation of the couple, neither the doctor nor the patient hello.
Yeah.
Yes. Neither the doctor nor the patient knew what to do. And those couples who could afford, they went out, they used to go outside Valley for treatment purposes. For example, there is this in infertility, we have surgeries known as fertility enhancing surgery. A patient has a septate uterus. Septate uterus is known to cause subfertility or infertility or recurrent pregnancy losses. So that condition can be easily corrected by septal resection. Once you do the septal resection, both infertility problem will be taken care as well as recurrent pregnancy losses problem. Previously, these operations used not to be done in Kashmir. Now, with the grace of Almighty God, we have started all such procedures in Valley. Another surgery known as laparoscope, fertility enhancing surgery, fibroid compressing cavity, that used to cause subfertility again or again recurrent pregnancy losses. Previously, we had a lack of expertise in such fields. Now, with the grace of Almighty God, expert.
Yeah, Dr.
One more important was lack of facilities. We did not have enough IVF centers or assisted reproductive centers where patients could be tackled easily. Previously, it was a problem there, but I think 2-3 centers have come up now. They are tackling the issues. Inshallah, Rahman, I think that outside dependence will reduce now.
And Dr. Saab, what is IVF? Can you please elaborate on the IVF? And as per the Islamic tradition, is it allowed in Islam? If some people have myths that no, this is not allowed, or we should not go for it. So can you please tell something about this IVF also?
IVF means the literal literal meaning of IVF is in vitro fertilization. In vitro fertilization. So in a common language, it is known as test tube baby. Somewhere in 1980s, the first test tube baby was born, Louis Brown. And a Bengali doctor in India also claimed a time that I have also successfully in our lab done the IVF. But he was so much humiliated that he committed suicide, a Bengali doctor, because no Indian doctor believed that an Indian doctor can do IVF. Later, when his records yes. And that Bengali doctor, I forgot the name. Later, when his records were reviewed, and the people were shocked to know that he had actually done the IVF and it was a successful IVF. Recently, उसके नाम पे एक फिल्म बनी थी, 2-3 साल पहले आई थी. He was humiliated because no Indian doctor could believe that we can be at par with others. Right. So IVF from Islamic perspective, there are 2 types of IVF. One is which is allowed in Islamic Sharia, the other which is not allowed. First IVF baby was born in 1980, and immediately there is some noise coming out. Hello.
Okay, let me just. Sorry, guys, got there was some issue. Dr. Sajjad, can you please send me one more time the request? Dr. Saab, please send me one more time request. I think there was some issue with the connection. Dr. Sujat, can you please send me one more time the request? Sujat Saab. Dr. Sujat, can you please send me request one more time? We were at the end of this session, but unfortunately network थोड़ा issue चल रहा है वहाँ पर. Sujat Advani, can't see him. Yeah.
Hello.
Yes. Yeah. Sorry. Some issue.
No
Yeah.
issues.
Yeah.
So I forgot where were we?
We were talking about infertility. Infertility बात कर रहे थे हम.
Infertility में we were talking about
You were talking about IVF.
IVF. Okay,
Yeah.
See, the first IVF child was born somewhere in 1980 by the name of Louis Brown. Immediately after the birth of this child, Al Azhar University, Egypt, Cairo, they issued the guidelines for IVF in Muslims.
Okay.
The guidelines have over the period of time changed, but more or less they are same. Nothing much drastic change was incorporated over a period of almost 40 years now. The major highlights of the guideline are, as long as one is using husband's sperm and wife's egg.
Okay. Sorry guys, network issue वहाँ पर है कश्मीर में, so that's why he gets offline often. Yeah, I'm sorry. Dr. Sujat, please send me request one more time so I can add you. It's a very important topic actually going on, infertility, and yeah, okay. I think he'll be live anytime soon. Yep. Okay. Dr. Sujat, please send me one more time request for the broadcast. Yeah. Yeah, sir.
We are live again, huh?
Yeah. Again.
Okay. So we were at Islamic perspective of IVF. So the can you hear me now?
Yes. Nicely, yeah.
So as long as the husband's sperm and wife's egg are used, IVF is halal.
Okay.
Donor sperm or donor egg and surrogacy is not allowed in Islam.
Okay, fine.
This is what is allowed in Islam in scientifically is known as self IVF. Self means husband sperm and wife's egg.
Yes.
This is known as self IVF. So self IVF is allowed in Islam. Fatwa from Al Azhar University, Egypt, Cairo, at our IVF center.
Okay, fine. But what is the chances if there is couple who are, whose eggs or sperm are not compatible or they are not able to conceive? So what is the what is the solution for them then?
See, we have
I think the connection broke down again.
hello.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
We have a problem in Kashmir that the egg producing capacity of the females is low as compared to other parts of India. There is a condition known as premature ovarian failure. We have so many females around the age of 30, less than 35, who have undergone premature ovarian failure. So the egg producing capacity in the female is almost negligible, or it has drastically reduced, or it is zero. So in such conditions, donor egg is not an option at all in Islam. Scientifically, we can use the donor egg, but as per Islamic fatwa, it's not allowed. So in such patients, we do a therapy known as PRP therapy, ovarian regeneration therapy, or a multipuncture in the ovaries. Ovarian regeneration can be done by either by multipuncture of the ovaries or by PRP therapy. So both are experimental. Still, they are experimental. Both PRP as well as ovarian regeneration are experimental. But in some
Again, it's broke down. Sorry, guys. Dr. Saab, can you send me request? Yeah, one more time. Sajjad Saab. Yeah, I have it. I'm trying, Dr. Saab. Just give me a second. Please bear with me. I'm trying one more time. It's a very important topic which sir was discussing about with me. That is the infertility in females, especially. Yeah, I think again. Okay, back. Go back.
yes, we are back. So ovarian regeneration is experimental. We can try in patients because we don't have much options for donor egg and other things. Some patients, they respond well, some do not respond at all to PRP therapy or multipuncture therapy or those.
And Dr. Saab, we have even I have heard many cases where there are miscarriages very often. They complain after 3 months there is no conceive. There is a lot of miscarriages happening in females who are, yeah, the age is less. What is the reasons for that, and how what is the best treatment for that?
Miscarriages, yeah. Miscarriages, technically, scientifically, they are known as recurrent pregnancy losses patients. Recurrent pregnancy loss. Why the pregnancies are occurring, but the lady is not able to retain the pregnancy. So many reasons are there for the recurrent pregnancy losses. I will enlist some important causes. One of the causes is either the egg is not good quality or the sperm is not.
Sorry.
Hello. I think this question I will answer, and then we should stop because our net connection is not favoring us.
It was very important topic and very interesting, but I don't know. This is bad luck.
So, it's a bad luck. So this question, I think this should be the last question and answer. So afterwards, we can have one more live session in the next week, so that patients or any infertile couples who want to have their personal questions, we can answer those as well. So recurrent pregnancy losses, the important causes I will enlist: either the egg is not good quality or the sperm is not good quality. In other words, you can say the genetic causes, either in the male or in the female. There is a common myth in Kashmir that consanguineous marriages means marriages in relation,
Yeah, cousin, like
causes
cousin.
recurrent pregnancy losses. It is
Okay.
not scientifically proven. It is not scientifically proven at all. Scientifically, there are two schools of thought. One school of thought says if you enhance your reproductive potential.
Sorry, guys. One more time. Then I think, yeah. Sujat Sahab, can you please, Dr. Sahab, come again, send me a request. I'll add you again one more time. That's the problem with 2G. Yeah. Can you send me a request one more time, Dr. Sahab? Yeah, okay, he is sent. Guys, just bear with me. Okay, I'm approving it, adding him, but there's some issue coming again. The connection problem there from his side. Yeah, adding. Yes, Dr. Sahab.
I think this 2G will not allow us to complete this question even. Huh? So,
Okay.
there is one school of thought. They say that if you want to enhance your reproductive potential, you should marry in relation. The
Okay.
other school of thought says if you marry in relation, the chances of bearing abnormal offspring this are high.
Yes.
So coming to recurrent pregnancy losses, one of the causes genetic causes, either in the male or the female. The second cause can be septate uterus, uterine causes, any infection in the uterus. Fourth cause can be SLE. The female has SLE, systemic lupus erythematosus. The fifth cause can be APLA syndrome, antiphospholipid antibody syndrome. They can cause recurrent pregnancy losses. The sixth important cause is fibroids, compressing cavity, or submucosal fibroids. One of the important causes is genital tuberculosis. Genital tuberculosis may sometimes present as recurrent pregnancy loss patients. See, if there are second trimester from around 14 to 20 weeks of pregnancy, there are recurrent pregnancy losses. The cause may be cervical incompetence. The cervix is not holding the pregnancy. Cervix means mouth of uterus. Mouth of uterus is not holding the pregnancy. So depending on the cause, the treatment is started and instituted. In cervical incompetence, we give cervical stitch, McDonald's or Schrodinger's, whatever it is. In APLA and SLE, we start HCQS, hydroxychloroquine, 200 milligram. In SLE, in APLA, we can start with a low molecular weight heparin, either prophylactic or therapeutic dose. Hello.
Yeah.
Depending on the cause, so we start the treatment. I have so many patients. I think the highest order is previous 6 abortions she had, and the 7th time she came to us, mashallah, they have now 2 babies. That couple has now 2 babies.
Very nice, sir. All thanks to you, and for your services.
Inshallah, Raman. I request government to start at least 3G, if not 4G, here in Kashmir Valley, so that we can have such lectures quite frequently and uninterrupted in Valley.
But you know that it was very important topic with today's. It was very important lecture because there are some myths around pregnancy and high risk pregnancy and fertility. I thought that, and it was amazing session. But the problem is with 2G, we are not able to communicate properly. That is the problem we are facing.
We are tolerating this problem since now years together. Once again, a humble request to governments so that we can use this facility at least for scientific sessions. And I'm so grateful to you that you moderated this session very nicely. And inshallah, Rahman, this will be a sadqa jariyah for you, inshallah. And let us hope in the coming week we can have one more session. And if the patient's queries will be answered, that will be more appropriate to answer the patient's questions.
So, Dr. Saab, what we can do, we can have one more session, and I will try to put this video where there are cuts. I will try to merge it together, and there are very important questions. And we can have next week session where we can answer queries from different people, patients, or whoever wants to ask questions. So that will be, I think, more benefit for them.
Inshallah, inshallah. Rahman.
So
God
that was
bless
Dr.
you.
Saab.
Allah Hafiz. Take care.
Thank you so much, Dr. Saab, for being there. Thank you so much for answering questions. Khuda Hafiz.
Allah
Take
Hafiz.
care.
Allah Hafiz. Allah.
Take care.